Earlier at the start of the high school wrestling year, there's a kid named Andrew Johnson. He had dreads. The referee, Alan Mahoney, not Mahoney, but Maloney, Alan Maloney, forced this kid to cut his hair publicly in front of everybody because he says that the kid's hair was too long. That's pretty much all that we got. It was covered by social media outlets, mostly all of them, especially the major ones. And most likely you wouldn't have heard this on any paid media or propaganda media, which is pretty much anything that is not social media. When I mean paid, I mean those that are primarily supported by big donors and propagandist machines and whatnot like that. So over time, it had time to accrue. Referee was suspended. And the kid, Andrew Johnson, he went on to win the match anyway. It was also reported that the referee was not happy when the kid won. So this leads me to what Rupley's reporting. Here's the problem. It's not the reporting, it's the reporter. Going by the title, you can tell that this is not something kind. And I thought I would give proof. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the whole thing. Then I'll do a little commentary at the end. I'm not going to make it long. I'm just going to let you see the whole thing. You get to hear it. I'll do my commentary on the things that stood out most to me and a little bit thereof. And you can be the judge on yourself. And I'd like to hear from you in the comment section. You can timestamp it if you want on what I said, what they say. And, we'll just see how that go. All right. So here's the clip.
Let's go to a story that we first brought to you earlier a few weeks ago, talking about a ref decided that he was going to have to cut one of the wrestlers, a high school wrestler's hair,
right,
and he did it right there. Now we actually have some legal action following it.
Yes, so to set this up, basically, which we talked about in your show earlier, it was Andrew Johnson is a 16-year-old wrestler from high school in New Jersey. And the referee, Alan Maloney, gave him an ultimatum, basically said, your hair is in violation of the rules, apparently, and that if you don't cut your dreadlocks, you will have to forfeit the match. So the kid was looking for a head cover. Andrew Johnson said, he offered to cover with a head cover, which is in compliance with the rules. You just can't have the hair hanging below your earlobes or shoulders. And Alan Maloney gave him 90 seconds, said if you don't cut it, basically you don't wrestle. So he did end up getting his hair cut, humiliating the 16-year-old kid basically in front of all these fans. Andrew Johnson went on to win the match, but Alan Maloney afterwards was never able to referee another match since then. Since that point, the New Jersey State Athletic Commission Association actually barred him from reffing any matches.
Because he cut the hair?
Yes.
And abided by the rules?
Well, abided by the rules, but many say he didn't because he could have allowed him to wear a head cover, but he said his head cover or headgear was no good. So
96. You know who I blame in all this? The coach. Because the coach should have been the one ahead of this to plan it. That's what you do with any sport. If you know that you're going to have an issue, you take care of it ahead of time. This coach says the boy did not grow the hair overnight. This is obviously going to have this been an issue at any other places? Lots of little details.
Well, that's the thing. Previously, Andrew Johnson has never had an issue. He would just use a head cover and his dreadlocks were fine. So that's the thing. This also, Alan Maloney has had some history with racial controversies. Back in 2016, he was suspended for using a racial slur against another African-American referee. So, there is something here.
They're kind of troublemakers, kind of. They were kind of looking for something.
Right, and now he's playing the victim, and he's suing the New Jersey State Athletic Association for $100,000 in damages, saying he was defamed and that he suffered income loss and emotional distress. But Andrew Johnson is doing well. He just qualified for the regional championships. So.
Well, and more importantly, did he grow his hair out and make sure that he had a covering at the next event?
He does have a head covering.
Well, there you go. You know what? You kind of learned your lesson on this, but this should be a lesson that all athletes should look at. Always be prepared. It's the Boy Scout rule.
Yes.
Okay, so the referee is suing for 100 G's, $100,000, $100K. That's a lot of money to sue for, saying basically damages, humiliation, things like that. I'm thinking, what about this kid? What about what you've done to him? Because he's going to have an outlook on life because of this, a different one than what he was having. And I don't know, maybe what this ref did enforced this kid's outlook, So what about what he and his family is going to have to go through? Because I'm going to tell you right now, it takes a long time for black people to grow some dreads. It takes a while. And it don't matter how good your hair is. It takes a while for black people to grow dreads, and this kid loves the sport of wrestling that much. He said, fine, I'll go through with it. I'll just get it cut. Because in his mind, it was like, you know what? And I'm asserting there. But most likely going on what I know of athletes, it's this will grow back. I won't get another chance at this moment, but the hair will come back. So that's something to think about. This kid was humiliated on the spot in front of everyone. Now, is it a nitpick or is it something you should take notice? None of the white kids in there gave a damn. They were just milling around. They didn't even really look. They didn't look concerned. I've seen lots of sports events where someone gets humiliated, whether it's a black person, and the white people are like, what in the hell is going on? And you can see that they're in shock. Usually they're more shocked than the one that is happening to. So, I'm just saying, it's something to think about. Because these kids are in high school. This is basically until you are roughly about 22, you are at an impressionable age. And it's impressionable because it's going to, you're easily moldable at that time. You just need a little bit of something that you already preconceived believe in, or everyone else around you believes in or is convinced of. Now, what ticks me off about this woman here, just you can't get the racist out of her. Scotty Neal Hughes. Now you wonder, okay, well, why would I say she's racist? Okay, then let's go through this. She claims the referee abided by the rules. Yes, he did, but the referee, knowing that this kid and his coach was abiding by the rules, he said, no, I'm not worried about that. He wanted to humiliate this kid. And just as her co-host Steve, what he said was that this coach had and he called it controversial. Racism is not controversial. All right? If you call somebody the N-word, whether they're white or black, that's not a controversy. And you know you mean it in a racist way. You know you do. It's all about who it comes from, and you know the intent behind it. It's simple as that. And it can come from someone. It could come from a black person. You know the intent behind it. You know what it is. I've seen lots of black people get in fights with other black people over the N-word. Lots and lots. Way more than whites. And I'm talking about when white people call black people the N-word, they don't really get in fights much. They might get dirty looks. They might get insulted or whatnot. It takes a bit for a black person to go after a white person, and that's for certain reasons. All right? So this coach basically breaks the rules just to get his way and humiliate this kid. So much so that when the kid won, he wasn't happy, or he was not happy when the kid won. So Scotty Neal Hughes, claims the referee abided by the rules, which he didn't. Then she says she's going to blame the coach. All right? Blame the coach, saying that he should have known ahead of time what was going on and all of that stuff. Now, in all honesty, no. Okay? The coach knew, the coach briefed, the coach prepped. The kid prepped, the kid was ready. So the team was ready. As even she said, the hair doesn't grow overnight. She acknowledged it. All right? So, and Steve acknowledged, hey, the kid and the coach had the head cover, which is what is needed if your hair is longer than below the earlobes and whatnot. Have the head cover. I've seen girls wear it, and their hair is down to their back. I've seen guys that have hair down to their back, white guys, hair down to their back, and wearing head covers. So this kid has a head cover. The coach and the kid prepared for it. And the referee would not allow them to use it and said that you have to cut the hair. So how is that abiding by the rules? If the referee abided by the rules, then he would say, okay, you've got this thing you've been using, since last year. You've got this thing that you've been practicing with all this time that I and your coach have been refereeing to practice you on and keep myself in practice. Therefore, I know what's ahead of time. He knows this. The referee knows this. Alan Maloney knows what's going on and refused to go with it. So when you refuse to abide by the rules, to enforce your rules, you are in essence, in fact, breaking the damn rules. It's that simple. And Scotty Neal Hughes, I'm gonna keep saying her name. Scotty Neal Hughes knows that. All right, there's some racist mess on her part. This referee, racist past. This is a considered racist attack on this kid, and she's defending the referee. That makes her racist. It don't make her racist. It exploits her racism. That's what it does. That's what it does. So Steve informed Scotty that the wrestler used headgear and stuff all like that, and she refused to acknowledge it. And then she says, I quote, "They were troublemakers. They were kind of looking for something." Now she ain't talking about the referee, because the referee is just one person. She said they, okay? That's plural, not singular. They were troublemakers, meaning she's talking about the referee that this Alan Maloney said racial slurs to, or a racial slur, one racial slur, it could have been more, and this current Andrew Johnson whose hair had to be cut, okay? So they were troublemakers. They were looking for something. Come on. Your racism is showing. And then later she says, more importantly, did he grow his hair out and have proper covering? After already being told that the covering was rejected just to get the hair cut. That is some bullshit. That's some troll shit right there. That is some epic troll mess right there. All right. I mean, I've been subjected to stupid stuff like that too. And that's by people of all walks. I've been subjected to stupid stuff like that. And it ain't cool. All right. It ain't cool. Then, now look, she says that mess as if the covering wasn't refused and all said. Look, this mess ain't right. And so to me, I'm like, she obviously her racism is showing. That's the issue. And I normally, if this gets enough traction, people will cause for her to, make an apology or retract certain statements. I'm tired of that. Let me know how you feel about this as well. I'm tired of that happening. What I think should happen is some company integrity. Your racism is going to show. Does that reflect the company? If so, fine. But if the company is not about racism and stuff, it's about just reporting what's going on, get the facts out, make sure everyone understands certain points of view without interjecting, your own personal feelings. Okay? If that's the case, fire them. An apology, what's an apology going to do? That means you can go ahead and say any racist stuff you want. You can Tucker Carlson the hell out of it and then just be like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean what I said. I'm going to try to be better. And that's it. I mean, that's like R. Kelly. I'm not going to try to be with no more little girls. I'm going to try to just be with grown women. That's my time now. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just trying to worry about the good things and be happy. And then later, I'm going to fuck some girls. And then, you know what? I kind of slipped. I went back. But you know what? I'm going to make this album because everybody, I love y'all. I love everyone. And I want y'all to dance to this. And then, fuck some girls. Wash, rinse, repeat. Spousal abuse, buy a gift. Spousal abuse, buy a gift. No. I like, if you ever seen the movie, What's Love Got to Do with It? That woman, when Ike Turner hit that woman, and she said, you ain't got to hit me but once. She left. She bounced. Now, she'll probably pull the rest of her life, but she won't beat on, hopefully. I'm just saying, once somebody does something like that, get rid of them. Now, if you're going to say racial things to get the story out or to quote somebody, I get that. But if you're going to quote somebody just to be a douchebag to say racial slurs, screw you. Simple as that. And I wish RT would get rid of her. But there are reasons why they won't. It ain't because of her popularity. Oh, and just icing on the cake right before I go, I did tiny bit of digging, okay? It cozy at her, and Scotty Neal Hughes is an American journalist, news anchor, and political commentator. She was a paid CNN commentator during the 2016 presidential election, often speaking in support of presidential candidate Donald Trump. Come on. There you go. And you know something? I'd like to say that's confirmation bias, but honestly, that's not even confirmation bias, because it was all laid out before I got to that. I looked at all this. I listened to all that, and I'm thinking, what's wrong with this? And the comment section, I'll link the video in the description. You know, I'll put it in the description, and you can go listen to it. You can look at the comment section, and people are down there like, you got to be kidding me. Come on. The comment section's even in on this. Now, I don't know if they're really going to cite it as racism, but look, I ain't stupid. I know racism when I see it. So that's really all I got to say about this. I'm out of here. Thank you for listening. All right. I'm out. Just let me know what you think in the comment section. Okay. I ain't got nothing else to say about it. I'm not giving my normal outro. Peace.